Porsches, super yachts, multi-million dollar French houses. It's very common for Wall Street to be associated with wealth and opulence. Well, after 2021, the life of a Wall Streeter got that much wealthier and that much opulencier. I don't know. Whatever it is, it paid a lot to be involved with Wall Street in 2021. And I wanted to take a second to make this video to kind of remind people one of the many reasons of why we're really in the middle of a retail revolution. Now, I am in no way against people making money, but I'm against some of the ways in which they make it, and I'm also commonly against the elitism and the cronyism that we see that's also connected with Wall Street and wealth and opulence. So before we kind of get into that to see things in a general view, I want to dive into how lavish the life of a Wall Streeter has recently become. Porsches, super yachts, and $7 million Manhattan pied-à-terres. I'm well aware. I just completely butchered that word if I'm being forthcoming with you. Relative to these people, I'm not rich enough to even know about this word. I had to look it up and try to go through the pronunciation of it. I just never heard of it. It's a French word that basically means you have a second home that's ornate and beautiful, but I'll call it a Manhattan pied-à-terres. A little bit easier for me. Inside the flurry of luxury spending spawned by Wall Street's record bonus season, the stories you're about to hear, it's crazy. Cars, we have high fashion, we have expensive restaurants, we have yachts, like all this stuff. Nuts. You got to check some of this out. So there's this guy, Michael Tabor, he's the guy who connects very rich people to apparently luxury yachts. Here I was thinking yachts were expensive boats, but apparently there's like a whole nother amount of luxury on top of that. Some of his clients are hoping to close a deal within the next month on boats of at least roughly 100 feet. And some of them are looking for double that, 230. Others of them who maybe just don't want to buy a yacht, they're still looking for inquiries to arrange island charters. I'm assuming in beautiful places such as like the Mediterranean. Our clients told us, I never expected to make as much money as I did last year, so I'm rewarding myself. Statements like that, I kind of find it to be a little bit interesting just to see the disconnection, especially between 20 and 21. There was a lot of people feeling like extreme financial pressure. And then other people in certain sectors of this world, one of them being Wall Street, made an absolute killing, made the most money they've ever made. After years of tamping down bonuses, after getting pillared for big paydays in the wake of the financial crisis, it's raining money again. The biggest banks posted record earnings last year amid a boom in deal making that is lifting all boats and increasing competition for talent. The specifics that we're about to get into, it's just insane. I don't even know if the human brain can truly conceptualize how big some of these numbers are. Bonuses have elevated financial leaders' top comp to staggering levels this past year. Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon saw his total pay reach $35 million, double what he earned just 2 years ago, $17.5 million. Meanwhile, Morgan Stanley boss James Gorman pulled in $35 million as well in total comp for 2021, and JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon earned $34.5 million. He must be a little bit pissed off. Well, he got shorted by 500,000 there, like compared to these other CEOs. Those numbers are jaw-dropping. $35 million in a year. Crazy. But check out how some of them are actually choosing to spend it. So matching Porsches, no finances. Two directors at a large cap investment bank who were recently on the verge of being promoted decided to throw caution to the wind and bought matching Porsche 911s to celebrate a wild year in the capital markets. You know, for me, when I'm throwing caution to the wind, what I end up doing, I get that second bottle of sangria. I'm like, ooh, okay, one for the weekend, but I'm like, might have been a good week. Let's get two. I've never thought I should get matching Porsches. And despite near zero interest rates, some of these buyers were skipping financing and buying their vehicles outright. Just a little, cherry on the top. Like clockwork, the entry-level female bankers would head out to New York's multiple Chanel boutiques after bonus days to pick up a standard issue black quilted bag. So it's just not, more of the male dominated, like let's get the fancy high level cards. You're even seeing some of these females, and I believe Chanel, most likely very expensive, very nice. But then there was another one that I had to read right here, Prive Porter. I think this is just like the Pi Day Terry's thing. It's just another fancy word that I never heard of before, but I'm sure if you're a female watching this, there's a good chance that you know this is like a very, very high-end luxury brand. And with these bonuses coming in, we're seeing a huge uptick in business for these high-end luxury brands. The least costly Birkins that Prive Porter sells starts at $20,000. They go up to $300,000 for the most precious bags fashioned from rare leather or in a scarcely available color. I don't know, like what are these, like secret NFTs or something? I just don't get that. $300,000, but hey, that's what I guess they want to spend their money on. It's what they want to spend their money on. On top of it, of course, there's people getting extra homes. Some clients are from San Francisco, picking up very expensive homes in New York. We have other people who are on Wall Street trying to get homes in Miami, another one in Miami. First one going for $7 million, the next one going for $2.5 million, the third one going for $3 million. This is just like some stories from a couple of these brokers. Imagine how many aren't being reported in this story. I don't think the CEOs like Jamie Dimon are going around saying all the big expensive things that they're actually purchasing. Those things were just more publicly available in terms of their pay. But I think like the ultra wealthy, they're not going to be, I guess, putting in an article the thing that they're currently purchasing. And then, of course, you have to do it with art. You have people getting very, very expensive food, which, hey, I get that. That's a bit of an experience. But on top of it, a Wall Street businessman bought a portrait of the American artist Jean Michel, and the photographer was Richard Corman. The gallery's art pieces start at $15,000 and go up to $40,000. Literally just came from the restaurant and bought that portrait right off the wall. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And then the final one I had for you, and this one is the one I personally actually understand the most. It still seems absurdly expensive, but at least they're spending the money on their kids. $50,000 a year for kindergarten. I mean, that's more expensive than some college tuitions for a year, than a lot of college tuitions for a year. And they're spending it on kindergarten. That's absolutely ridiculous. One banker told Insider that he and his wife are considering using the money towards private school for their child who is entering kindergarten. He estimated that a private kindergarten in New York City would cost a family upwards of $50,000 per year. You know, to me, and like, I don't care what they really do with their money. I think it is a little bit better than, I don't know, a car, a yacht. Like, at least it's going to their kid, hopefully for a better education. But I just question, how in the world is any kindergarten education possibly worth $50,000 a year? I hope you enjoyed that little sneak peek into the world of wealth for all these people on Wall Street, at least the way it played out over 2021. We had record salaries, we had record bonuses. And if I'm being really honest with you, that doesn't bother me. Just seeing their money and what they choose to spend it on, it doesn't matter to me. Hey, whatever. They apparently did something that society values enough that it was worth that. Good for them. The power to them, all the power to them. Where I have an issue with all this is like, okay, did you make money by making a legitimately good idea and execute on that trade? Or did it come from insider information? Did you have a good forecast, or did someone tip you off? On the other thing, I'm not necessarily just against typical short selling. Hey, if you thought a company was overvalued and it's going to come down and you shorted it and you made money, all the power to you. Or was it stock bashing? Did you somehow engage in naked shorting? On the other side of that, okay, were you making a lot of money as a market maker, providing liquidity? Great, we need that. But were you doing it at the risk of the clients from these brokerages not getting better execution? Were you using this information, your asymmetric data information, to trade against a whole fragmented group of people, increasing the fragility of the market? So overall, that's what I'm trying to say. And it's like a weird line to balance. Like, do I care that some of these people, what I would consider making money in legitimate ways? Nope, no issue with that. But we know over this past year, especially in 2021, that there's been a lot of groups, particular funds, particular market makers, who made a lot of money in what I would argue that a lot of apes, a lot of retail investors, when they really dove into it, wouldn't be the happiest about. All in all, I want to remind you that this retail revolution that we're currently living in, it's happening for many reasons. There's an entire myriad of reasons, but to me, one of the reasons, one of the many, is that we get these people who somehow acquire great wealth, and then all of a sudden, because they have that, it gets into this world of elitism and cronyism, and it's this better than thou sense when it's like, okay, Are you really that good and were you successful? Or did you only get up to that level because you were pushing other people down? I think there's a fine differentiation there. And I think that it's safe to say across Wall Street, not everyone did it in what I would consider to be an above board manner. With all that being said, these are just my thoughts, and I would love to get your thoughts in a comment below. If you haven't already, it would be awesome if you could hit that like button, and don't forget to join up with the Moon Gang by hitting the subscribe button. Thanks for spending your time with me. I'll catch you in the next video.